All right, everybody, quiet on the set, please. And clapper.
The Harvey Weinstein story, take 12.
And action.
Gwyneth, look at me. You think I chose to be this way? You think this is who I wanted to be? You think I woke up one morning and said, oh yeah, I want to have a bunch of actresses watch me take a bath? You have to understand me, Gwyneth. Understand me. I'm trying to understand you, Harvey, but it's so hard. Hard. See, when you do that, how can I understand you? Every time you masturbate in front of me, I just... Look, I know you've been good to me. I know you've helped my career. I know I owe you so much in terms of that, but I am a woman. And when I think about what you've done to other women, it just makes me think of other women. And every day I wake up and all I think about is other women. I have other women on my mind all the time, and I just can't take it anymore because I am a woman.
Excellent. Wonderful. And enter Dr. Walken.
Mr. Weinstein, Mrs. Paltrow, I'm sorry to keep the both of you waiting. Mrs. Paltrow, you have to understand, Harvey didn't choose to be this way. Harvey has a disorder. He was born this way. It's a gene he was born with. A gene that, unfortunately, makes some men in Hollywood need to have actresses watch them take a bath. There's nothing he can do about it, but you can do something. You can understand him, have compassion for him. You wouldn't punch somebody in the stomach for having stomach cancer. You wouldn't take somebody to court just because they had irritable bowel syndrome, would you? Think about that. I'll try. I'll try to have compassion. I'll try to understand people and speak out on behalf of people with Harvey's condition, because maybe you're out there tonight and you have a Harvey in your life. Well, I invite you all, men, women, cis, trans, bigender, 72 genders. If you have a Harvey in your life, stand with them now, because now is our time. And cut. Tom, how quickly can we get a copy of this to my lawyer? Okay, yeah, get that over to him because the trial's going to start in 2 days, and I think it's going to help us out. California Supreme State Court, court docket number 1225, people of California versus Harvey Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein, after having seen the amazing film you managed to produce in 72 hours entitled The Trials of Harvey Weinstein, I think we can dismiss this case. Everybody's free to go, and everybody... That was pretty fun. The Harvey Weinstein story, huh? I can't let it go, man. I'm just, because, you know, it starts off, you're like, okay, your first instinct is to go, yeah, okay, the big bad Harvey Weinstein. You know, he is, you know, yeah, he's a sleazy person. What I don't like is the fact that, oh, this is news, that this happens in Hollywood, you know, and then all the feminists are crawling out of the woodwork again. It was the last thing we needed. You turn on Facebook and it's, you know, the whole, 2 years ago I was in Manchester at a gig, and when I got done, somebody at the bar looked at me and said, great job. And they had like a kind of a, you know, a Billy Idol sneer when they said that. And at first I didn't say anything because I didn't think anything was wrong with it. But now that more women are coming forward with the Harvey Weinstein allegations, I think maybe it's time to let women know that if a man does do the Billy Idol, you know, thing at you, then maybe it's time to, you know, say something, you know, say it sorted. 5 years ago, I was told I did a good job, but the way he said it was, I mean, fucking man, the paranoia, all this shit, man. So men need to do better at shutting up third wave feminists now. This is, I've been, another blood test, right? 2 blood tests. Actually, I did heroin today, right? But if it's your first time, if you've never done heroin, your first time's free, and they also give you a little cotton ball and some tape. Okay, so that was the Harvey Weinstein. So I was thinking about that. I've been walking so much this morning so I had to get a chest x-ray and 2 more blood tests. I was talking to my friend Shane last night, and I said, you know, when this came out of my mouth, it felt horrible. It started, he laughed at it, but like as most, you know, good comedy comes out and it's true. But when somebody laughs at it, you're like, oh, fuck, that is true. I said, I actually have more doctor's appointments than I do gigs. So I tallied it up. I have 2 gigs from now until the end of the year so far. Who knows? Touch wood. But I have 2 gigs and about 7 doctor's appointments, you know, diabetes clinic and all that, you know, stuff like that. So I'll just have to make those funny. But I went to the to get my chest X-ray, which I was really worried about because I'd never want to know what's going on in my chest. I've been smoking for 30 years. 30 years. I've been roughly a 35 to 40 cigarette a day smoker. So I really don't want to know what the hell's going on over there. But I mentioned I saw the movie Alfie again recently, and there's that scene where Michael Caine, he gets a chest X-ray, and then the doctor asks him a bunch of questions about, do you cough, and he answered it like I was answering the doctor recently. I was like, yeah, but that's what you do in the morning, you cough. You have your first cigarette, you cough a little bit, and then you move on. And I said, really? The timing was insane because I just came from the doctor's, and I watched the movie that night, and I thought, wow, those questions were put to me today, and I was supposed to have the X-ray. I had the chance to have the X-ray on Friday, but it was Friday the 13th, so I waited till today, and I went down to the Shrewsbury Road Health Center. See, now it's getting all mundane. Now we start off with the bullhorn
and the props, right?
I love it. And this was for the Red, White, and Blake film, right? There's a scene where I'm walking through this park going,
relax, everybody. There is no such thing as God. 214, we have a 516. That's a copy 912. 415, that's a copy response. 555.
Yeah. Builders.
Please stop building.
But maybe that works. I did it.
Please stop making noise. I'm doing comedy in here.
Stupid. Now I'm a prop comic. Isn't that right? What was I talking about? Oh, so I went down to Shrewsbury Road Health Center, and their X-ray machine was broken. And so I said, well, do I walk to Newham? So I walked all the way to Newham, and went to Newham to get the chest X-ray. And I said, it was like a 30-minute walk. So it was 30 minutes to the Shrewsbury Road Health Center. So I walked for an hour to get this chest X-ray done. And the whole way, I'm wondering if there is a name for an X-ray machine. Because it said on the, when it went, it says that our X-ray machine is broken. And so the whole way I'm walking, going, is there a word for an X-ray machine? I was trying not to look at the phone. I didn't want to cheat, but I don't know if there is a word for it. I think it's just called an X-ray machine, which seems a little weird. You think they would have a name for it by now, an X-rayoscope or something. But anyway, so I went, and again, I'm in the waiting room at Newham Hospital, and where's my scarf? Might as well do some costumes. Can you guys still hear me? I wish I could take calls on this, man. I need a co-host or some shit, right? So it was all right. So it was me in the waiting room at Newham Hospital for my chest X-ray, and then it was this, and the keepers, right, and the men with the beard, like that, with no mustache and a beard, and then their property, like the property, right, and all this is going on in the midst of the persecution of Gwyneth Paltrow and female comedians and all this, but it was this. Now I'm sitting in there, I'm a little, it's a little depressing. You're sitting there going, I'm getting a chest X-ray, like I gotta, and I'm the only, like, I'm wearing a prisoner T-shirt, and like, where am I? I always feel like that. Where am I? And maybe that makes me a heartless xenophobe, but there is always going to be that feeling of where the hell am I? You look at all the women, just this, And then what comes on the waiting room television is it's Channel 4. It's a preview for a show called My Week as a Muslim. And it's this white woman who went undercover as a Muslim to experience what it was like to be a Muslim and the differences and cultural differences. And it just so happened that this was all shot before and after and during the Manchester attacks. Where else in Manchester? And it's My Week as a Muslim. And it was so weird to see this. I'm dead ahead to a woman with one of these things. And she just turns and watches the TV and like, in other words, this is a good program she needs to watch. And I'm going, oh, Christ, man, can we just get the chest X-ray done? And, it was so weird. But then what comes on after that, then there's Donald Trump, right? And you got to remember, like, the sound's like not all the way up here. So it's like Donald Trump. And I said, I really doubt on the heels of that, the My Week as a Muslim preview, this is going to be like anything flattering to Trump. There's Trump. And then there's Putin, shirtless on a horse. And there's Trump, and then that turns out to be a trailer for Donald Trump, sex, lies, and something with sex, lies, and scandal, right? So these two back-to-back Channel 4 programs, and you just think, what the hell happened to Channel 4? Channel 4, once upon a time, used to be the antidote for the BBC. And that funny little story, if anybody liked it, I mean, the young ones were a big influence on me when I was a kid. So the young ones on our local TV affiliate at midnight, they would show the young ones first, and then they'd show an episode of Monty Python's Flying Circus, before VCRs even. This was me, like as a kid. And, the story about the young ones is they were going to go to Channel 4. Channel 4 had just started. And they had this weird story about these 4 lunatic flatmates that, the young ones. If you haven't seen the young one, Rick Mayall's character, an amazing physical comedian. And so they were going to take it to Channel 4. And what had happened was they'd forced the hand of the BBC. Because the BBC were getting nervous, like, oh shit, I think this Channel 4 is doing a bunch of young, up-and-coming hip stuff. And once they heard that the young ones were going to take their idea to Channel 4, they were like, whoa, no, we'll take it. So that, once upon a time, was Channel 4. Cutting edge. Now they're just towing the party line with "My week is a Muslim, my week is a Muslim," and they call it fact-based entertainment. Oh Christ, insane. So that's going through my head. I don't want to know what the hell that. Only, Jesus Christ, I didn't want to get a chest X-ray. But here I was answering questions just like Michael Caine does in Alfie. Like, sometimes when you cough it up, don't you? I mean, the first one in the morning, you cough it up. But I had to, in order to, because I was walking, I'm like that now that my foot, we discovered that my foot was fractured. Can you believe I walked around from Bunce? I thought it was, I didn't know what the hell was going on with my foot. It was fractured. I still don't know how the hell it happened. But now that I can walk, I like to walk if I can. And I walked from East Ham through Upton Park down to Newham University Hospital. And I actually looked at a room in Upton Park before I moved into this place. And Upton Park is one of those, you get out of the tube and you're like, I am in fucking Pakistan. It is like, no insult. It's just stating objective fact. It is like, this is a completely foreign culture. Like there was nothing was recognizable in any way to England. Maybe the bricks and a few of the street signs, but it was like, and the room I looked at was, this is what they do in London sometimes. They'll take something that clearly wasn't a room, a bedroom. It was clearly like maybe I don't know what, like they'll convert it and they say, this is the bedroom, with these weird, like, it looks like a laboratory, a laboratory for some medical clinic where these bizarre cabinets and this is 500 pounds a month for this converted thing. So I'm really glad and thankful I live where I live. There must have been something to me because they were looking for other flatmates because a couple people moved out here and I said, did you find anybody? They said, no, we haven't found the right people. And it made me feel good because I thought I guess I'm the right person. I don't know what it is. Maybe they thought I was harmless. Maybe I am harmless. We got 50 people watching these videos. I'm pretty harmless. No, I'm grateful for you guys. I really am. And I think somebody got offended I think one of our patrons got offended at me last night because, like, you got to understand, I have these certain rituals, and usually around midnight, I'm done, midnight UK time, I'm done communicating. Like, I'm putting on a film, and I'm laying down, and I'm eating pretzels, and I pass out with pretzels in my mouth. And I wonder sometimes why I have to go to the dentist. You know what I mean? So, it's a little inspirational humor. I was worried. The one called China's Got Talent, at the end of that, I almost teared up when I told the story of the little 3-year-old Chinese girl giving me the food. And I had, oh my God, am I becoming one of those motivational comedians? Those, the type, like, they have a crazy life of drugs, and they never really got through, like, on the Wolf of Wall Street level with, man, Saturday Night Live, man, Justin Bieber, fuck, I could drink, drive whenever I want, man, I'm entitled. They never get that way, but they still manage to destroy their lives without all the glitz and the Betty Ford Clinic, the Robert Downey Jr. he's out, he's in, he's out. And that's what, and they sometimes they become motivational comedians. So they'll do like a little bit of lighthearted stand-up, and then she brought out the food to me, and you know what I realized? That, in its own small way, is what I need. That's all I need today. And like an Anthony Robbins type thing, but with comedy. But it did make me kind of tear up a bit, as I was relating that, because it was a very noisy day in the head. And when I ended, I thought that was such a sweet little thing. I'm not usually a sweet person, It's like it'd be one of those stories where they're like, I think I heard a motivational comedian do this once. It might have been some guy that came to our high school when I was a kid. I don't know where I heard it, but the guy comes out and he's like, let me tell you a little story about a little girl wants to have a picnic with her friends. And it's going to be on Saturday, and she's looking forward to this picnic all week long. Looking forward to this picnic. It's, a little girl. Little girl wants to have a picnic with her friends on a Saturday afternoon in the park. And the little girl's worried it's going to rain. And one night her father walks by her room. Little girl's got her door open. And little girl's praying. And the father listens in, and the girl's praying, and the girl says, "Dear God, please don't let it rain tomorrow for my picnic. Oh, please, God, don't let it rain tomorrow." Well, the next morning, the girl gets up, looks out her window, and sees that it's raining, and the picnic has to be canceled. Well, the father comes in and puts his hand on the daughter's shoulder and says, "Honey, I'm sorry God didn't answer your prayer." And the little girl looks up to her dad and says, "Oh, he did answer my prayer, Daddy. He just said no." I heard that a long time ago. I think about this sometimes. I mean, it is, but it was, I don't want to be that kind of entertainer. I don't want things to have gotten that bad. I still want to raise some hell. But I was thinking today, I thought feminism is a greater danger than Islam. I'm almost convinced of that. I think it's actually worse than Islam. I think the feminism has made it possible. When you have shows like, who was her name? Catherine so-and-so, and she spent a week as a Muslim it's like, what is this shit? You're going to make us feel bad if we're angry about something? And then, the Harvey Weinstein thing, it's just, yeah, okay, he was bad, but he wasn't the only one. If you think merit has anything to do with it, you can get that out of your mind. I'm telling you, somebody knows. I was going to go through this list. Scott sent me this list. The Guardian has written a list of ways that men need to do better. And I thought I might read a few of those for you guys. If you want to be upset. Men need to do better at shutting up third wave feminists. Honestly, we need to and fuck this men's rights shit. Stop calling it men's rights. Don't call it men's day, men's right. Don't play that game. That just makes you another victim. You need to call it an anti-feminist thing. And I want, whatever. They're asking me to give a speech on the 19th of November. So I'm not going to tell them what to call their event. I'm grateful to be invited anywhere. But don't call it a men's rights. What about our rights? Fuck that. Anti-feminist. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Again, the merit thing, right? So equal pay for equal, who is that? Equal pay for equal work, right? How's that? First off, it's a lie, right? But okay, let's say that is true. Then why in the hell is Sophie Hagen so she's a comedian. Why is she getting paid more than me? Why does Bridget Schwartz get paid more than me? Why do any of these shit female comedians on television make more than me? Because it doesn't have anything to do with merit. It has to do with blandness. And what they really want to say is they want this situation where the people with merit and talent should be paid equal to the people who don't have any talent at all. That's cultural socialism, isn't it? Right? So that's really what they want to say. And then they want to make it about their whole only. It's just about my whole. You have a PP, I have a whole. And that's why I haven't, and once upon a time it was true. If you didn't have any talent, that was it. You weren't getting anywhere. But nowadays it's but we have a whole. And if we stick together, then if you put more of the holes on the show, then that's what we're really after, is more holes. And it doesn't matter what we're talking about, because nobody gives a fuck what we're talking about. We don't care what we're talking about as long as our whole is on the stage. So what about us who argue based on merit? Well, we're just old stupid fuddy-duddies, aren't we? And we read books like The History of the Peloponnesian War, and we fade into the scrap heap of history like Thucydides, don't we? Well, what the hell is he going to be? Does he even matter anymore? Thucydides, is he just another dead white male? Or all these men who fought these wars, they're just dead white males? Fucking insane, man. But speaking of Islam, I'm sitting in the waiting room as this is going on the telly. Just I feel like I'm in a traveling caravan on its way to Mecca because I'm with Abdullah Sahid. This way, please. Malahazalad. This way, please. Will Franken? That's the one name they can't pronounce. Balahaladat Simidelad. Will Franken. Any relation to Al? I know him. I know Al Franken. Oh, he's really funny. Oh, really, I hope he's president one day. Oh, what if he's president? God, I hope not. It'd be horrible, wouldn't it? Trump, keep your balls out there, man. Keep your balls out there. I know it's hard. Hard. I know it's hard, but you got to just persist. And we've all got to persist. I didn't want to get angry about any of this shit. But I went here, what are you gonna, it's an office toy, man. It's an office toy. So I'm out there having a cigarette and, Twitter. I felt good the other day. See, I did this pilot for RT, and we don't know what's going to happen with that. And of course, that gives the more reason for people to hate me because they go, "Yeah, you work for RT." Yeah, well, I'd like to work for the BBC, but it's controlled by feminists. They have no sense of humor. They think Fleabag is a great, brilliant show because it's about a chaotic millennial's life. Fuck your chaotic millennial's life. Boring. Let's do something with passion. Oh, yeah, I bought some tampons today, and then I had to go to the tampon store. And there's this guy I like, but he's afraid to talk to me because I'm a nasty fucking Fleabag feminist cunt. No wonder he doesn't want to talk to you. No wonder men don't talk to him. No wonder the Japanese guys are fucking apparently, going on robot porn or whatever. They're afraid to. I don't know what the hell's going on in Japan. I've never been to Japan, but fuck me, man. You know what I was thinking too? I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna get over my fear of rejection and just start hitting on women out of spite. Just fuck the fear of rejection because right now, I am kind of what the feminists want because I try to talk to them nice and I'm very I'm afraid of rejection and I don't really let them know how I feel or what it is I want. I'm actually what the feminists are trying to create and maybe I should go out there. This is the only time I really get to vent about what I feel about the feminists. So maybe I need to I'll just do it out of spite. What was I talking about? So I go on Twitter and everybody's upset about this guy James Corden, who I've never heard of James Corden. Right? I'm so proud of these. I'm so proud that I don't know who these people are. That I wouldn't be able to tell you who the guy with the. I don't even know who these people are. Like Game of Thrones, I watched, I liked, but that's like the last new thing I did, and I'm proud of that. Like I felt like a hack because I did the Christopher Walken. I was thinking of this, walking back from the hospital. I was like, Tony Christopher. Yeah, it's not that I used to do them since I was 16. I did Walken But, the reason, I just think there's very few people left that have any personality. These actors and these actresses now are very interchangeable. And, when you go like, okay, well, who am I going to pick? Am I going to pick this blonde actress who's mediocre or that blonde actress who's mediocre? Maybe the one who watched me take a shower. This is probably what's going through Harvey's mind. It's what's going through, who knows how many Hollywood types. When I was in New York, some guy introduced me to his voiceover agent. Now, anybody knows me knows that, that's what I do. I do voices, right? So I went into this guy's office. I brought him a CD. Back in those days, you made CDs. And he was such a disgusting, revolting cunt of the lowest fucking order. I mocked him in one of my podcasts. What was his name? Lou something. Just, a character, from the really, and I wasn't offended because he was, I found him sexist because he talked to his secretary. This is what he said to his secretary. He's like, Donna, bring me, bring me this, bring me that. And I didn't care about that, but he said something. She said something back to him, but you could tell that she knew how to banter with him, that she'd been working for him for a while. And she's like, yeah, I'll get there in a second. It was kind of a friendly working relationship. And he goes, oh, and Donna, this is what he said, literally, in front of me. Donna, next time wear your dominatrix shoes. That way I know I'm supposed to get my balls busted. Anyway, so you do voices. right? And I thought, what are you doing, a show for me? All I'm going to do with you, this is what I'm thinking, all I'm going to do with you is take you in here and turn you into a two-dimensional character that you are and spit you back out. This is what I'm feeling inside. Like, well, I'm going to be buddies with you. You seem like a real good guy to get to know. You're a fucking scum of the earth. And he said, you do voices? I go, oh, yes, I do all sorts of voices. And I try to do a few, I guess Robin Williams has that thing in Miss Doubtfire, right, where he tells isn't he trying to get on welfare or something, benefits, and he's doing that? And the guy goes, yeah, relax, you don't have to do them for me now. And and this was like a reputable, reputable in the sense of, it's the agent that everybody wants to have. Just scum of the fucking earth. What lowlifes. But it's been that way forever. It's just for some reason Harvey is the one that is taking the hit. Woody Allen, everybody seems to forgive because he's Woody Allen. Everybody loves Woody Allen. What are you gonna do? He married is she Chinese, Korean? He married a Korean girl, therefore he's multicultural. I don't know what the deal is, but Harvey. So Harvey take the hit. But that's what I don't like, the fact that this is but this Corden guy, I don't know who the fuck Corden is, and he made some jokes like. I don't know. They were, they're jokes. I don't like jokes. I see jokes coming a mile away, but it was something like, but you take I haven't felt like I was in this much hot water since Harvey Weinstein took a bath or something like that. I don't know what it was. But then people demand apologies, and the fucker goes out and apologizes on Twitter. Oh, I was trying to point a finger to Harvey, and I wanted to jump in. I feel that, what am I going to do? You feel impotent, right? No pun intended. But you feel you want to jump in. Would you stop apologizing? This is the problem. We every fucking day. It's another fucking apology for something. Don't apologize. No apologies. Jokes are jokes, and uptight prudes are uptight prudes. Did you rape a woman? Then shut the fuck up. Fuck him. Apologize. Because what is he gonna do? He wants to keep his career. And I know, maybe, who knows? Maybe I could come out. I'd like to apologize to all the comedians who were offended by my awards. It was not my intent to. It would be a bold-faced lie. It was not my intent to what? Of course it was. Of course it was my intent to rock the boat. It's been banal, stupid identity politics forever. Of course, what am I gonna do? Like tell a lie? It was not my intent to upset anybody or hurt it. It was. It was my intent to upset and bother you, as is the intent of all satirists. Right? Now, this guy's not a satirist, but it's like, what fucking apology? All right, everything fucking apology. Apology. I was thinking about this with homeless people. I had this theory in San Francisco, because I saw this time and again. When somebody asked me for something, because I happen to be poor, and cigarettes, for example, cost $7.35. Somebody asked me for a cigarette, I say no. I don't say I'm sorry. I say no, because what am I apologizing? I think there's something wrong with the culture that apologize. And especially in San Francisco, the homeless were fucking horrible. They were everywhere, and they were nasty, and they would fuck up your dates. You'd be on a date with a girl, first date with a girl. It's hard enough. You're nervous already. Hey man, I got $50, man. That's like defecating on him. You don't want a girl to see that. But then at the same time, you got this shit going through your head, going, okay, do I give him $1 because she's that type who would give $1 to? I mean, I've done that before too, and she didn't give him $1. I said, well, fuck you. I give me the $1 back, But you got all this shit going on already on a date. I remember one time this guy he would sing. He was horrible he would just interrupt you. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. You stick his hand out, and it's like, why aren't you in jail? But time after time in San Francisco, you would see this everywhere. They say, like, you have $1? I'm sorry, no. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't. And then it would actually rummage around. I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? They haven't done anything to merit your. What are you apologizing for? So what happens is, if you have a whole culture, a whole city that keeps telling you sorry, they don't have money for you. So in other words, the two reactions you get are you either get money, or you either get an apology. Eventually you're going to go like, well, you should be sorry, motherfucker. You kind of get that, like, I am owed a fucking living by you. There was one of these, one time outside Safeway, there was this, able-bodied girl sitting down there on a fucking skateboard all day. I said, you got $1? You got $1? And I was standing out there having a cigarette, and a guy comes by, he gives her $1, and then I just woke up and said, "Can I have $1?" Why? Because she gave her $1. I'm standing up at least. Give me $1. She's not. You just gave her $1. Give me one too. I mean, what are the rules? Yeah, if I'm laying down on the concrete, I'm eligible for $1. What the fuck is this? Anyway, so I was thinking. So he's apologizing. He's apologizing. So the RT thing I mentioned. Can you believe I'm all over the map here? The RT thing, because I'm immune from this shit by and large now, which is a healthy place to be. So I stand outside the left wing and the right wing because I think both of them are fucked right now culturally, because the right wing, we're having another panel on why Brexit should happen. And we're going to speak to people who agree with us, or we're going to be shouted down by leftist lunatics who don't want us to speak at all. We're not going to do any comedy shows or try to do anything in the arts at all, because we're going to leave that to the liberals, and that's going to solve all of our problems. And the liberals over here, completely doing the arts, their own contradictions are running rampant everywhere you go. The transgenders going against the feminists, and the feminists are going against Harvey Weinstein. It's all collapsing in on itself. But the right wing doesn't need to do anything culturally. We're just going to wear our suits and ties and talk to people who agree with us already. So that's all Facebook and the social media shit is. And this RT thing, they added they at my name with a bunch of other people, and it was something in the Times about this, saying that the Russia Today was going to hopefully do the satire that the BBC is no longer interested in doing. It was something like that. And these guys like Keith Allen, who I don't really know, he's like Lily Allen's father. I don't even know who the fuck that is, Lily Allen. But they're coming at it from this is what's happening. The left, there are certain elements of the left wing they don't want to admit it, but they're going right. That's right. Okay, I have to do that still. I have to go L, right? They're going right, but they don't want to admit they're going right, and they still don't like Brexit, and they still don't like Trump, and yet they know something's going on. They see all of this stupid shit going on, and they're going this, which is not left wing in the classical sense. It's not classical liberalism, but they don't quite understand that they're actually going to the right. So that's Keith Allen's still in that mindset, where he thinks the death of satire is coming from people like Murdoch and the evil, whatever. That's his thing. Those of us on the ground know it's coming right from the fucking universities, right from the BBC. It's being inflated. My week as a Muslim, it's being shoved down our throats every way we fucking turn. It's a grassroots pollution of the culture. It's an infestation of left-wing retardation. It's not coming from Murdoch's. Not this, the Zionist bankers and the Rothschilds. That's all fucking mumbo jumbo horse shit. It tinged with a bit of anti-Semitism. I'm not calling. I'm just saying that they're coming at it from that. But anyway, so my name's added because I was involved in this thing. And then it turns out like the guy who wrote the Times article is yelling at the RT people, and the RT people are yelling at the Times people. And it was so funny because I was so immune, and I'm looking at this from the dispassionate observer, which really I think we all should aspire to be. We should just subtract ourselves from social media and just dispassionately observe this. And I realized I don't even know who's on whose side about what anymore. And so I would just pop in and say, I want to know the real truth behind the Peloponnesian War. What is I can't even say his name. Thucydides. What is Thucydides trying to hide? Truth seeker. I was just popping in with irrelevant shit because it was funny. It's just like none of this means anything. And I thought about that with the lunatic who had, the first female director general of the Imperial War Museum, Diane Lees. And how the fucking trenches are gone. And, I told Scott, I said, you know why this shit happens is because we fight about it on social media. We go on social media with the first well, she did this. What's wrong with women having romance? I wasn't saying that there's anything wrong with women having this, but you said Russia applying sexist. I'm not applying sexist. That's the way you're reading it. See, we take it there, and meanwhile, up top, we don't give a fuck what she does, and let them fight it out on social media. Diane Lee says, "Here's the keys to the kingdom." We don't actually do anything about it. We go on the Twitter, you know. And I suppose you could say Brexit and Trump wouldn't have been elected, and thank God there's, you know, and I do these videos or whatever. But, you know, that it did make a difference. I'm not entirely sure now. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's nice to have an outlet, but, you know, I think a lot of this, you know, we get down in this little, and the people who make these decisions about letting the first female director general of the Imperial War Museum get rid of the trench exhibit, it's good. It, you know, just happens because nobody's actually there physically going, what the hell are you doing? This is an Imperial War Museum. Why are you getting rid of one of the best exhibits on World War I ever? Like, why are you turning this place into an arts festival of anti-war propaganda? And if you are going to do that, why not, you know, a little bit balanced? Why not have the Murders of Communism exhibit? Right, that it'd be nice to go. That would be nice. Go right through the Holocaust exhibit, and then when you come out, then you're into Stalin, right? And then you see all the, you know. Let's look at, you know, let's look at the 1938 agreement between Stalin and Hitler. Let's you know, it's not, well, they were just mercilessly attacked, and you know. Hey, I support Russia's involvement in World War II. Obviously, I mean they lost a lot of lives and they fought some great battles and they stemmed the tide of Nazism. But you know they did sit down and carve out a deal where they managed to chop Poland in half. It wasn't like they were, you know, knights in shining armor. You know, so let's tell the truth about communism, the bloodshed of communism. We're not going to see that. We're going to get through the trench exhibit that doesn't exist anymore, and then we're going to come out and we're going to see like an anti-war painting. You know, and all that. I mean, you know, but that's all happening where we're going on Facebook. What's wrong with that? You don't think women should be in the kitchen? All that shit. So I was, well, when you walk to these places like Upton Park, it's funny when you talk to geezers out here that were raised in places like this. They always talk about how the neighborhood's changed, but they never really give a specific. And it's almost like, and I think what I realize now is I think they're trying to suss you out. Because maybe they see me, I mean, we know because Scott and I were incorrectly labeled Antifa on my birthday at a Weatherspoons on Chancery Lane when the guy, I had badges and Scott had a purple hat. And for some reason the guy, Antifa. You better fucking watch out, you're on fucking Antifa. You're like, what, you're calling us Antifa? You know, and that was so you never know. But maybe they're trying to suss me out, you know, as you know. Like, so what they do. Well, let me give you an example from cinema. There's a film called, I forget if it's called League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or League of Gentlemen, and I'm not talking about the TV show, which is funny, that was set up north. There was a movie from 1960, I believe, starring Jack Hawkins as a retired colonel. And what he does is it's about a bank robbery, and he gets together a bunch of ex-military men to pull off a bank heist. And it's a little bit bank robbery, and it's a little bit comedy. And there's a funny scene where, in order to get weapons and gas mask and tear gas canisters, they're going to rip off an army barracks, an army. What do you call it? What is it? What is the word? A base, an army base. And there's this great scene where they dress up as, you know, they're retired military, so they know a lot of the lingo, but they manage to infiltrate this base. And as some of them are stockpiling weapons, I forget who plays the character, but they're walking. They basically are. They tell the commanding officer that they're there to inspect the mess hall. And there's this great scene where he randomly goes up to one of the soldiers eating at the mess hall, and one of the bank robbers, or the guy who's eventually going to rob a bank, says, "How are things here in the mess hall?" And the guy that he's asking, he says, "Well, it's all right, sir. It's not bad. Is the food okay here in the mess hall?" "Well, it's all right. Well, sometimes they mess it about a bit, sir." "They mess it about? How do you mean?" "Well, just they mess it about, like." "Yes, but how exactly do they mess it about?" "Well, like the eggs sometimes, sir. It's just they mess them about." "I see. Anything else?" "Well, sometimes a steak. They mess it about as well." "I see. And how exactly?" "Well, they just mess it about, isn't it?" And then Then the guy says, well, thank you for your frankness. And then he leaves. And the soldier next to the guy says, that's the way to tell him. And he goes, well, I had to say something, isn't it? It's just so funny because he doesn't say anything. He doesn't give any specifics. He says, well, they just mess it about. But you can tell he's nervous. He's like, he doesn't want to get in trouble with his CO. And he's like, I mean, the eggs are all right, but sometimes they just mess it about. It's such a great punchline because the guy's like, you way to tell him. And he's like, oh, I had to say something. And now he's all proud that he spoke out. Such a great scene. If you've not seen that, League of Gentlemen or League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It might be extraordinary. And I think about that sometimes when you talk to people. Like if I talk to people later that I'm going to see tonight, and they say, oh yeah, I walked through Upton Park today. And I said, I was born and raised in Upton Park. Oh, it's all changed now, isn't it? It's all different. Oh, how is it? How would you say it's different? Well, it's just all different. Like it's changed and all. Yeah, but how specifically would you say it's different? Well, just like it's not the same as it was. It's all different, you know. Oh, it was a certain way before, and it's not that way now. Right, but if you had to write like an essay with specific reasons why, you had to really say why Upton Park has changed. Like, what would be something specific? Just like, what's the shops is different, and people and all. Like, well, it's just different, like, isn't it? And you get the impression they're going like, you finally crack the nut, and they go, it's not. It's all him lot, isn't it? What lad are you talking about? Well, like it's all them headscarfers and all, and Muslims and all, isn't it? All right, that's they're trying to suss out whether you're going to report them. 205. Got a hate crime, corner of Upton Park. As I meant, hate crime, possible hate speech. 215. We understand that, sir. Please turn around, please, sir. Upton Park. Yep. Relax, everybody. He's not going to harm you. Go about your daily prayers. Yep. And I was just thinking about that every time I walk through neighborhoods like that. I always think about how non-specific everybody is about how it's just changed, isn't it? I was talking with somebody about pie and mash the other day because I love pie and mash, and unfortunately, there's not many pie and mash shops left anymore, especially ones where you can get eels and liquor, which is not actually liquor. For those of you who don't live in England, it's not liquor. It's this green sauce that for some reason they call liquor. And Lenny Sherman, I think he's going for the record of how many consecutive days he can eat pie and mash. I really want to get some pie and mash now, but they all close at 3, which is unfortunate. But I was talking to my friend the other day, but I was telling him, because he mentioned he had some jellied eels. I said, I've got some jellied eels for you. I said, I love jellied eels. And he says, I said, where do you live? I said, Forest Gate. He said, what's by the time you get jellied, that whole area, it was jellied eels and pie and mash. Oh, you get a fish and chip shop. You get fucking wrapped up in a newspaper. It's all changed now. All changed. How has it changed? I said, oh, it's all different, like, just, different. I think people are very scared here to say how things have changed, and it might have had something to do with this lot. So this is what Scott sent me. I don't know why I like to apologize. Like I gotta say, so I mentioned this earlier. I think somebody was upset at me because I didn't. Somebody sent me this thing about a patron, and I bless her heart. Thank you very much. But it was something about. It said corporate in there somewhere. Where and it was no offense. I just, if I see the word corporate in something, I can't. I get narcolepsy. I fall asleep. But it was about being a leader and not, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't want you to be offended. I feel bad if only people I know are offended. Going back to that giving away cigarettes thing, right? One time in Bethnal Green, there was this attractive girl walked by, and she wanted a cigarette. And I spoke to her. Do you have a cigarette? I go, no, sorry. And then, then this black geezer comes up next to me and he goes, did she just ask for a cigarette? I go, yeah. And you didn't give her one? Shit, fine-looking bird like that, I would have given her a cigarette. What, you would have given her a cigarette just because she's good-looking? These are $7.35 a pack. I said, do you smoke? No, he doesn't smoke. I said, well, you got to understand. Like, boy, I'm going to give her a cigarette. What do you think she's going to do if I give her a cigarette? Go to bed with me? I think a lot of men do. Maybe men get off, oh, can't turn down a pretty girl. I don't give a cigarette to anybody unless I know them. Anyway, so I apologize for that. I really was laying down and going to bed Anyway, so just that ADHD thing, man. I gotta tell you, it really upsets me sometimes when I see like working class geezers out here going, like they're getting diagnosed with this shit. It's like, you know what, I never knew this before, but I got diagnosed by my GP. I've got ADHD, you know, and I'm really going back in my life now, and I realise, you know, my whole life I've been, you know, yeah, I've always found it difficult to concentrate. You know, I was always like, you know, in school, you know, I'd be looking out the window. I said, what? That's everybody's head is insane, man. Everybody's head is crazy. You know, if you're able to like shine a spotlight on all of our minds, none of it would look normal. So fuck that, you know, the ADHD, but you know, not to mention this influx of technology into our daily lives, this social media shit, it's turned everybody ADHD. It's like you look at a tweet, but then what was I supposed to be doing here? I mean, come on, we're all fucking ADHD. 10 fucking screens going on here, and you know, then you have to remember that you actually live in something that's actual real space, not cyberspace. So on top of everything else, you have to wash, you have to get up in the morning, you have to, whatever, and then you got you know, fuck, you know, if we are ADHD, then we're all anybody who owns a fucking computer is ADHD, and you forget who you messaged here and who you didn't message there. You know, you need like micromanaging just to fucking get through your daily cyber life. ADHD, my ass. And as far as bipolar, you know, I didn't think about it. I actually know a guy out here who is actually properly bipolar, and he calls me sometimes, and I can't pick up the phone because it's like, and he'll leave like 5-minute voicemails, like, you know, oh, and I'm walking down the street now, and I'm looking at the street, and it's funny about buses and buses, and it's too much sometimes. So you know, like this fucking overdiagnosis shit needs to just stop, man. Anyway. This is from The Guardian. So Scott sent me this, and I only read it because I was walking today. You know, it's like a 40-minute walk back from the hospital. By Nicole Silverberg. Hey man, what are you planning to do better? Because you need to do better. Here are ideas on how you should treat women better. And I'm not going to go through all of these. Don't talk over women. That's one. Said that happened to me in Newcastle. I had asked this, just to recap, if you haven't seen that one. There was a couple, there was a good-looking girl and this beta male with a beard, and God knows if they were going out. We don't know anymore because they just, you know, they don't really do PDAs anymore. There's no claiming of the woman. You don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if he's gay. How do I know anymore? The world is all. I remember I took a train across America one time, and there was this couple, a young couple, and I could overhear them, and they were like, yeah, I don't really know. And they both had the same voice. And the girl had this nasty habit of saying, says the man who doesn't, you know, like it was a book, you know, that type of, says the man who doesn't like Game of Thrones or whatever, you know, whatever, that like ending the sentence like that. But then they would kiss. And this was the sound of the kissing. It was like, what are you, you're on a train. I fucked a girl on a train once going up to Boston. You know, we went into this little, you know, we fucked in the, it was, it made me horny to be on the, you know, and what is this? The whole it's like, that's what you want to hear, and then find a fucking carriage where you can, you know, seize the day. What youth is wasted on the young. So don't talk over women. So I was in Newcastle. And this was the girl I had asked, because I was trying to get Vox Pops for the End of the Blake film, who is your British hero? Well, of course, that led into that girl, you know, thinking that it was racist to assume that Britain had its unique kind of culture. That was a racist thing. And then I started, I said, you have to apologize. And she wouldn't apologize. And then eventually it led to, why are you talking over me? And then her boyfriend was like, look, guys, can we just, but guys, can we just, guys. I said, why are you talking over me? I'm talking over you because you owe me an apology. And it's the whole thing is, you have probably gotten away with this shit your whole life because you're good looking, and you have honestly, if I may say so yourself, you have a pansy for a boyfriend, because I wouldn't pull this shit with a proper Geordie couple, like with a big shaved head geezer. I'd probably back the fuck off a little bit because I'd be a little bit intimidated. But I'm doing this because you got a pansy for a boyfriend here, and you have called me a racist. So if you want to continue this conversation, you're not getting a free pass from me because of your looks or because of your ineffectual boyfriend. Apologize for calling me a racist. And of course she didn't, and I just kept having to talk over her. Because, you know why? Because she was an idiot. Even though she had breast and a vagina, she was still stupid. Okay, so there was that one. If you're asked to be on a panel and see that it's all men, say something. Maybe even refuse the spot. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Somebody gives me some money. I don't care if it's 15 midgets with penises. I don't care if I'm on a panel with just male genitals. I'm going to take the money. I don't care if it's a panel of all women. I'm going to take the money. So fuck you, you middle class bitch. If you maybe even refuse the spot. I will if you reimburse me whatever the amount of the money I would have received for. I will take the brave stand, but you have to reimburse me, you spoiled bitch. When you see another guy talk over a woman, say, "Hey, she was saying something." Look at that. When you see another guy talk over a woman, whatever. So even if they're just interrupting each other. Let's say it's two people talking about the Canary Islands. Oh yeah, no, I've been to Tenerife. Oh, you've been to Lanzarote? No, I've not been there. I went to Tenerife a lot. Hey, she was saying something. That's what I'd get. Don't call women crazy in a professional setting. Well, let's say you work at a mental hospital. What about patient number 542 who eats her own feces? I think she's really dealing with some issues here. Don't use your feminism as a way to get women to trust you. No problem there. I'm not a feminist. So is in your day-to-day life, not in your self-congratulatory social media. So now it's, we got the Lord of the Flies here. Now it's feminist versus feminist. It's female feminist versus male feminist. Don't touch women you don't know. And honestly, ask yourself why you feel the need to touch women in general. You know what? I'm gonna touch a woman tonight. I don't care if it's a hug. I don't care if it's a, oh, how you doing? I'm gonna get used to touching women again because I need, in my own small way, I need to counteract the emasculating horse shit that this is. And okay, so do you feel that any woman on earth owes you something? If I went to a prostitute and it was €40 for a blowjob, I would expect a blowjob. Yes, I would. Even if you're like, but what about basic respect? Oh, Christ. If a woman says no to a date, don't ask her again. I'm one of those guys that if a woman says no to a date, then that's it. I don't. That's an easy one for me to follow. Because I don't get off on I don't get off on a conquest. I don't really like that. Like, oh yeah, but after 12 times, she finally said yeah. I was talking to my friend last night, and he says, sometimes, and I've had a few times, like with the Mexican chick. I remember one night just being angry, and I didn't even want sex. It was just like, would you shut up? And I kissed her to shut her up, and all of a sudden it was like, oh well, right? Some women like to be taken, like not raped, but just like swept. What about the phrase "swept off their feet"? Right, like that whole thing. But I don't really do that. If a woman says no to a date, it's like, okay, I can live with that, So I'm not really persistent. But I have had some guys say, like, sometimes it's like, okay, this is the truth we kind of need to hear, I think, to counteract. If a woman has not given an enthusiastic yes to sex, back the hell off. What is an enthusiastic yes to sex? I have never once had a woman go. So first off, you don't ask. You don't say, hey, would you like to have sex? Yes. An enthusiastic yes. There is no such thing as an enthusiastic yes, I don't think. If a woman is really drunk, she cannot consent to you. And she also cannot, if a woman is really drunk, she cannot consent to you. If a woman's really drunk, she can't. So does that apply if I'm really drunk? Can the woman, yeah. If you involve women in your creative, this is the most dangerous one. Involve women in your creative projects, then let them have equal parts in them. Oh, but there should be a caveat: only if they are of merit. See, this is the problem. They don't understand. You see how naked. I don't have to tell you. This is so naked. This is completely naked disregard of merit. It's an assumption that it's just about holes with peepees, holes with peepees and holes and peepees, peepees and holes. They don't give a fuck about merit. Don't make misogynistic jokes. Fuck you. I can make a joke about whatever I want to. Don't make assumptions about a woman's intelligence, capabilities, or desires based on how she dresses. Which means if you're in Manchester on a Friday night and you see a group of women in short skirts, barefoot, walking around in broken glass and vomit, don't rule out the possibility they could be experts in Leibnizian metaphysics. Pay women as much as you pay men. I think there's a lot of men who would, pay. They would pay a female prostitute more than they would pay a male prostitute if they're heterosexual. Don't get just scrolling through the best ones. Don't need to literally witness a man being horrible in order to believe that he's horrible. Trust and believe women. La Crosse University, there was that case, the Rolling Stones fake date rape scandal, but no, innocent before guilty or guilty before innocent, blah 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 blah. If a woman makes you feel pain, don't prize your pain above hers. So if you get shot in combat, if she's feeling blue, what is this? Nicole Silverberg. You know what? It just makes me, whatever. Okay, what am I gonna do? Change the world? The whole world. When I read shit like that, I just think the whole world can go to hell. Fuck it. When I saw that, Muslim for a week, the whole world can go to hell. What do I give a shit? What do I give a shit? I'll tell you what I do give a shit about, though. The patrons from Patreon. And I thank you all for your support, and I'll continue to create works just for your eyes only. Sketches just for your eyes only. Humor, essays for your eyes only. And that's the link, as always, is available on the description, patreon.com/Will Franken. And I haven't heard any otherwise, but apparently I'm still going to Wales on Friday for a gig. And I miss being on the road. I really miss it. And it's going to be nice to be in a train again and see the beautiful valleys of Wales. Bridgend this Friday. I'll be closing the show, as is my birthright. And then the following week I'll be at the Battle of Ideas at the Barbican. My panel is 2 in the afternoon in the garden room at the Barbican on the Saturday. And that's a great, you want to see some fireworks. There's something about the Battle of Ideas. It's they actually want a proper battle, so they actually invite, proper debate. You're going to hear people whinging. It's nice and it's exciting. And I'll tell you, when I did it last year, I was talking about, brought up Islam, of course, and political correctness's kind of kid glove treatment of Islam. And there was a group, and I must have mentioned this before, there was a group of teenage Muslims in the audience, girls with the hijabs and boys, and they came up to me afterwards, and I thought immediately, my first reaction was like, oh shit, you're gonna have to keep arguing. And they came up to me afterwards, and they said, thank you for what you said about Islam. And it really took me aback. I said, yeah. And we talked about a few authors, and I said, have you guys read Douglas Murray? But they must have been like 18, 19 years old, and I was really stunned. And as it turned out, attending that debate was an act of rebellion. An act of rebellion. Think about that, comedians. An act of rebellion to attend that. Once upon a time, it was our job to be rebellious. It wasn't our job to follow a list of, fuck the 10 Commandments. We're talking about 50 here. Commandments about how to treat women, the rules of the EU. Again, so what I got to do today, the Index on Censorship wants me to write this 500-word piece, and it's been going really slowly, but once I'm done with this, I'm going to get my lunch, and then I'm going to go finish that, so be watching for that as well. I'm just trying to tie it all together, but I'm basically talking about my personal experiences being blacklisted for having done the awards, the Defining the Norm awards, on into, and trying to close with the notion, the grand irony being that comedians don't like Donald Trump and Nigel Farage because they did the job of comedians. That it was the job to rebel against the status quo. And now comedians follow rules gladly. They will follow any rules gladly because they're not actually comedians. They are interchangeable, right? The ones they are interchangeable, and so-and-so follows the rules the best. So-and-so is the most enthusiastic about diversity. She's got a vagina, but she's also a lesbian. Here's a better one. She's got a vagina, but she's also a lesbian, but she's also a transgender lesbian. So boom and boom and boom, 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 boom. And this guy is a Muslim, and that's how the whole thing. And this guy here is a beta male, and he's bipolar, and this that. But it's not about merit. That was fun today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're gonna drink and drive, go slow.